Hey everyone, King Gideon here, and I want to talk about, further talk about making sense that the fall actually happened through an illicit sexual relationship between Lucifer and Eve and Adam. And I know this was actually one of my earlier videos on YouTube, and a lot of people liked it, but there's also a lot of people that didn't agree with it. And I just want to make more sense out of this one Bible verse that we have here and connect it with the 7 deadly sins. I do know that it is a Catholic doctrine, I get it, but it really doesn't say any different from what else the Bible has said about sins that are very bad. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 4. So before verse 4, this is about Peter acknowledging the gratefulness that he has of having the knowledge of Christ. Here it says, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. How do we make sense of this? In the world through lust. Okay, when the Bible says stuff about the world, does it actually mean planet Earth with the crust and the mantle and the inner core and the core? No, what it means is it's talking about the people who inhabit that earth, which is us. So, okay, the world through lust. So if the world are the people who inhabit it, well, where did the fall start? It started with Adam and Eve. They were the whole world. There's just those two people. Here's the thing, is that Adam and Eve were corrupted by lust. That's how it makes sense. To connect this with the 7 deadly sins, were they affected by the 7 deadly sins? Yes, one of them. Imagine if this verse said corrupted by gluttony. How would it be that Adam and Eve were corrupted by gluttony? Okay, let's say with gluttony. Okay, gluttony is this physical act where you're consuming food more than what you need. Was Eve and you could say Lucifer, were they being gluttonous in eating this fruit? Is it way more than they can consume? No, it's just one fruit. It's not like God told Eve to not eat hundreds and hundreds of fruits from this tree. It's just one single fruit. Is this the sin that could possibly transmigrate, you could say, original sin, right? The sin of Adam to a person. No, I don't think they were gluttonous. How they act upon it was very gluttonous, you could say, in this fall. Okay, let's say, what about pride? Okay, Lucifer was prideful, that's for sure. He was prideful. He went against the throne of God. He wanted to challenge him. He wanted to be above the clouds. Of course, this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. Was Eve necessarily prideful? Lucifer was trying to tempt Eve, right? To say that you could be like God. God's trying to hold this away from you, right? Would you say that pride was the transition of, you could say, this original state of purity to then the fall? It could be in an internal sense, you could say, but it's not the actual like physical transaction, you could say, that transmitted this original sin to then all of human history. Again, corruption by it wouldn't be pride. Let's even think about Adam. Was he prideful? No, he didn't seem like he needed to be prideful of anything. God told him, you own creation. You own creation so much that you even dominate the angels. There was really nothing prideful that Adam needed to be. Let's go on. Envy. Okay, so Lucifer was clearly envious by Adam, right? He wanted the whole world, but instead Adam is gonna have the whole world. And he tried to trick Eve into being envious. But again, was Adam kind of similar to pride? Was Adam envious? No, he wasn't envious at all. He already had everything. His cup was already full. It's just that he couldn't exactly, well, I'm just gonna say the same thing. He was given over by lust, okay? Even when a man feels like he already has everything, he could still be taken over by lust. Wrath. Was it wrath that transition of the purity to then being fallen? It does say in the Bible that the devil is a murderer, you could say that, but that's the thing. It's like he didn't exactly murder them physically, right? In a way, he kind of murdered Eve spiritually, but then Eve also has murdered Adam spiritually as well, right? But if it were physical, well then, if Lucifer murdered, Eve, and Eve would murder Adam physically, well then there really wouldn't okay, first off, that just wouldn't even make sense, because one's already dead. How could you be dead and still murder someone else? Right there, it can't be wrath. It can't exactly be violence. That was a transition of impurity to the fall. Greed. Okay, was there greed involved? Lucifer was greedy. Eve, yeah, maybe she was greedy for a little bit. Was Adam, again, was he greedy? No, it just wasn't greedy. The world wasn't corrupted because of greed. Okay, just to remind you that in the Bible it says that through fornication, that in and of itself defiles the body. That's what defiles the body. And that's, again, why it would make sense that original sin would be transmitted through each generation. And this is why we need to restore our bodies. Our spirits are restored, but we need to restore our bodies. Sloth. Maybe Lucifer was pretty slothful, right? Maybe he thought he deserved a little bit more, that he's more entitled to power. Sure, maybe Eve. Maybe Eve was a bit of a feminist, where she thought she deserves more from the man. But again, was Adam slothful? No, he wasn't slothful. He wasn't slothful at all, right? He didn't ask anything more from God. He was already fine. Lucifer wanted something more from God. Eve wanted something more from God. Adam knew the truth, and he didn't complain to God of what he wanted more, right? He was taken over by lust. So going over the 6 deadly sins, now let's go over the last one, lust. Why would lust make sense? It says in the Bible that through fornication, that's what defiles the body. It would make sense that through sex, original sin will be transmigrated to each generation, carry the nature, the sinful nature of Adam. That's why we need our bodies to be restored. We need to wait for the returning Christ to come and restore our bodies to be new. Our spirits are cleansed by faith, but now our bodies need to be restored, right? Even when Christian parents bear children that they themselves don't have a restored body, they still need to choose Christ in order for their spirits to be restored. Through lust, that would make sense. Was Lucifer lustful? Yes, he tempted Eve, as it says in the Bible that he beguiled Eve, right? What does beguile mean? It's not only trickery, it's seduction. If there's anything, even when a man has everything, he could still get dominated by sex. If there's, Adam had everything but what? But sex. So he had everything but the enjoyment of putting his penis inside of a woman's vagina. That's the only mystery that was in Adam. Like, I have all the things in this world, but I'm so curious about what's in that hole between those legs of my future wife. That could drive a man crazy. So it would make sense that the only way for Adam to be dominated, to be overcome by whichever of the 7 deadly sins, it has to be lust, because he already has everything else. He's already fine. That's all, that's my video for today. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I wish you a wonderful day. Peace out. Bang.